right, so what we'll do is we'll get buckled in first. So all you have to do, that's connected. Just turn the front part of that counterclockwise. It should pop out the belt there. Yep. Just put it in that same slot. Yep. There you go. Down by your feet, you've got another one. It's right into the bottom there. There you go. And you've got two in between the headrest and the seat. There you go. Oh yeah. All right.
Weird being in this seat instead of walking and looking in from the back.
Oh yeah. Well, you're gonna get the first-hand experience. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna slide ourselves forward. You see those pedals down there? Mm-hmm. Right up. Yep. Yep. Okay. So what you're gonna do is slide up so you can put the balls of your feet right on the pedal. So you want to grab that bar up there with your left hand. Now by your right-hand side, there's a handle there. Just pull up. There you go. So you can. Yep. There you go. Feel how they move. Alrighty. Cool. So you have a headset over there on your left. All right. Okay. So welcome aboard our 737-800 flight deck. We are sitting here, well, right on runway 10 right at Pittsburgh. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off, climb to about 3,500 feet, and we'll fly. We'll make what's called right traffic, so we'll be making right turns over the city. The city's off in that direction here. Okay. We'll come back around. We'll do a touch and go, so we'll get the airplane on the ground. We'll take off again, climb back around, and then we'll do a. We'll change things up a little bit, and then we'll do a full stop. All right. Cool. Alrighty. So I'm going to run through the flight controls real quick here. So the big one in front of you, that's what we're going to use to actually fly around. That one's the yoke. So if you push forward, knows the airplane goes down. If you pull back, knows the airplane goes up, and we climb. All right. So just go ahead and get a feel for it. There's quite a bit of weight behind it. Exactly. All right. Got to be kind of aggressive with the forward and back. Requires kind of a lot of movement to get it to do what you want it to do. All right. So when we want to bank the aircraft or turn, we need to bank the wings. So that's about all you're going to need. So it's kind of sensitive as far as the rolling is concerned. Okay. All right. So if you take a look down, you see that white triangle there, kind of is pointed just a little bit past the 2 on top of the yoke. Oh. Yep. That's about it. Okay. And when we go in turn, it's important because the nose wants to, because we lose lift in the turn. So what you want to do is
pull back at the same time.
You got it.
Okay.
That's exactly it. Alrighty.
Okay.
Cool. Down by your feet are the rudder pedals. So you can go ahead and put your feet on those now. All right. We're going to use these to actually steer the aircraft while we're on the ground, specifically when we're on the runway. All right. So we're not going to be using this to turn.
Okay.
All right. That's going to be your first tendency, and that's perfectly fine. I understand that. But hilarious things happen when you try and steer with this. All right. So right pedal moves the nose of the airplane to the right, left pedal moves it to the left. Okay. So that's about all you're going to need because these are very, very sensitive. All right. At least the rudder pedals are. All right. So when we want to slow down, specifically when we're taxiing, but once we get towards the end of our landing roll, we're going to use our toe brakes. So if you put your feet all the way up on top of the rudder pedals and you point your toes forward, you feel how they move down?
Okay.
Yep, exactly. All right.
Okay.
Now, those are just like wheel brakes in a car. Exactly the same thing. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
So they're braking, and then this is just steering then on the bottom?
You got it. Okay. All right. Over here, we've got our throttle quadrant. These are our throttles here. So we've got two engines, so for one throttle for each engine. They can move independently, but for us, they're going to move at the same time. Okay. All right. We're going to be using something called auto throttle, so we don't really have to worry about it too much. A lot of modern aircraft use this system. All right. So what you do is you basically just throttle forward on takeoff a little bit, and then you hit that black button, and these will start moving by themselves.
Okay.
All right. Based on the amount of thrust that we're going to need to maintain a certain airspeed. Okay. All right. Cool. Once we come in to land our second time, we're going to use a few things to actually help us slow down. First of which being the thrust reversers are here. So basically panels slide back and point the thrust in the opposite direction. The engine doesn't stop turning and then go in reverse. Doesn't make much sense to do that. So what you do is you just vent the thrust in the opposite way. So all you have to do when you touch down is pull up to engage and all the way back. So you probably heard that before when you come into land. Yeah. The other thing that we're going to use is the speed brake. Now, the speed brakes are the spoilers. They pop up on top of the wings. Maybe you've sat in a window seat and you saw the panels that pop up on top.
Oh, okay. That's what those are. Okay.
Exactly. So they basically just destroy the airflow over the top of the wing, therefore slowing us down.
Okay.
So we're going to arm these just before we come in on our second time. So all you have to do is pull out, just gently bring it back, gently down, and then just kind of gently forward. You can see there's a line here that says armed,
Right.
and then you can see up there to confirm the speed brakes armed. So as soon as you touch down, these actually automatically deploy like that.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead and give it a shot. There you go. Cool. Because if you do it quickly, it just kind of wants to slide back into that the holder there.
Yeah, okay. So, all right. Yeah, it's got a little notch. All right.
Yep. So as soon as we touch down, as soon as the main landing gear compresses, these move all the way back. So you don't really have to do anything.
So as we're descending, we'll put it armed and then...
You got it.
Okay.
So, cool. Now, when we're going to take off and we're coming into land, we're going to be at a pretty slow speed. All right. So the idea is you want to generate as much lift as humanly possible to maintain control and to land at a slower airspeed. The way we do that are flaps. Okay. Those are the panels that slide down to the bottom of the wing, and they essentially just make the wing bigger.
Okay.
So the bigger the wing, more surface area. Well, as you guessed it, more lift.
Right.
All right. So we've got a number of settings here from 0 degrees all the way down to 40.
Okay.
Generally, we're just going to be using 30 degrees because the runways that we're going to be going to are long enough so we can touch down a little bit faster.
Okay.
All right, so all you have to do to change direction, and as we continue to slow down, we bring them down in increments. So all you have to do is pull up and just drop into one of these slots here.
Okay.
Now at 15 and at 1, we've got these stops that make us, well, that makes us think about what we're doing. All right, so it'd be bad news if you went from, say, 2 all the way down to 40 in a hurry. Well, you can kind of guess what would happen then. All right, so in order to do that, so you come down and then you're automatically stopped by this detent. So when you do, all you have to do is just kind of push down and pull back, or push down and then bring it up forward. All right, so go ahead and give it a shot. We're using flaps 5 for takeoff. There you go. Cool. Hardest part of the flight right there. Most people struggle with that. All right, cool.
Good.
All right, a lot of the stuff above your head we don't really use in normal operation. In fact, a lot of it's controlling the redundant systems on the aircraft. So if one major system fails, we at least have a backup. That's where a lot of this stuff comes into play.
Okay.
All right. However, we've got our fuel pumps here for our fuel tanks. We've got 3 fuel tanks, 1 center, 1 left, and 1 right. The fuel pumps just basically add pressure to the lines from each respective fuel tank that goes into the engine. All right. So you can see that down here. We've got our fuel tanks are here. So we've got 2 wing tanks here. Those are pretty full,
Okay.
which is good enough for us. But our center tank is not. All right. So we're burning fuel off just the center tank. Now that's not a big deal, as long as these fuel pumps are running. All right. So that's going to run out eventually. So as long as those other fuel pumps are running on the wing tanks, we won't run out of gas because they automatically draw fuel as soon as that center tank is dry.
It does that to keep the balance, right, for the weight then?
Yeah, that's generally the way we do it.
Okay.
So each engine will draw from its respective side. So
Okay.
so
If the center is empty, it's not going to, the 2 on the sides don't dump into the center then?
right, correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct. So the right engine will draw off the right wing tank, left engine will draw off the left wing tank
Okay.
as soon as that's done.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Our excuse me, our electrical panel is here. We have a direct current system, at least starting off, and then once the generators are activated, we've got an alternating current system. The main, when you go and start, before the engines are started, we use the APU, which is an auxiliary power unit. It's just this tiny little jet engine in the tail of the aircraft that provides electrical power for us and aids in starting the engine using compressed air. That's what this does here. When we go and shut down at our final destination, I'll give you a little. I'll go a little bit more in depth with it. All right. Our de-icing equipment is here. Obviously, ice is a bad thing for aircraft, so we've got a few systems that help us counteract it. The windows are heated. The probes, the pitot tubes that measure air density, airspeed, altitude, that sort of thing, on either side of the nose, those are heated as well, electrically. But the wing anti-ice and engine anti-ice are actually heated by the engines themselves. So hot air is actually tapped from the compressor section, which is about 250 degrees Celsius. It's vented around the front of the wings, and then around the engine nacelles. So we don't have to worry about engine ice or anything like that.
Okay.
All right. But the drawback is when you have those activated on the ground and you're going to take off, you're going to have less performance because it's instead of using that power for thrust, it's actually using it just to heat the engine. All right. Hydraulic panel is here, so all of our flight controls are hydraulics. So we've got dual redundance. So we've got the 2 engine driven. So these are just driven off an accessory drive from each one of the engines. And then we have an electric driven one, electric driven boost pump. So if you lose an engine, you at least have the electric ones that run independently of the engine themselves.
Okay.
All right. Cool. And then if all else fails, we have something called the RAT, the ram air turbine. It's a little propeller driven generator that drops out of the bottom of the fuselage and powers our electronics just enough for us to get back and gives us a little bit of pressure in the hydraulic lines for the major stuff.
Okay.
All right. Air conditioning is here, and then our pressurization is here and here. Again, that same system that powers our engine anti-ice called bleed air. That also provides pressurized air for the pressurization, and it's fed through heat exchangers to give us air conditioning in the cockpit, or at least, and the cabin as well. All right. Don't really have to worry about pressurizing too much. We're going to be at 3,500 feet, and last time I checked, I can breathe pretty well at that altitude.
Right.
All right. Lighting panels here and here. We're going to light ourselves up like the 4th of July when we go and take off. Not a huge deal during the day, which is perfectly fine, but at night, yeah, you generally want to be seen for everybody, especially because Pittsburgh is kind of a congested airspace.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. Autopilot is here. We won't really get into it much, mainly because we're going to be hand flying it. And because we're going to be actually the only thing that I'll point out for right now anyway, is our auto throttle is armed. So when we go and take off, whatever airspeed we have put into here, the throttles will actually match power to maintain that airspeed. Now it's dependent on your pitch. So if you're pitching up, you still want to maintain. It's still going to want to maintain, say, 230 knots. So it's going to give us more power. All right. And opposite is true when you're pointing down. All right. So it'll bring the power back.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So since we aren't going to be using the autopilot for controlling the aircraft, we're going to be concentrating on these 2 screens here because this aircraft is not really designed. It's not really flown very well by just looking at outside references. All right. So these 2 screens here are the most important. All right. The one on your left there, that's our primary flight display. It shows us exactly what the aircraft is doing at any given moment. All right. Even when we can't see outside, we can at least rely on this to tell us where we're going. All right. So a lot of stuff is displayed here. So the left-hand side over there where it says 30, that's our airspeed indicator, how fast we're moving through the air. It says 30 right now because, well, anything slower than 30 really doesn't matter to us. And the airspeed indicators aren't really calibrated to that point anyway. Besides, if you're seeing 30 knots and you're flying around, you got a whole host.
For long.
Exactly. You're going to be doing a whole lot of not flying. All right. Right-hand side is our altimeter, how high we are above sea level, not physically above the ground. Obviously, we're not 1,200 feet in the air. We're 1,200 feet above mean sea level.
Okay.
All right. The right-hand side, that's a really important one. I would kind of keep an eye on, at least try to, is the vertical speed indicator. Shows us whether or not we're climbing or descending in thousands of feet per minute. All right. You'll see if we're pulling back and we're climbing, you'll see a needle that either point up or point down, depending on which direction we're going. But generally don't want to see it pegged at 6 in either direction. You're climbing like a rocket, you're coming down like a meteor. But it's probably fun for us. Trust me, people in the back, they don't really feel that same way.
Okay.
All right. But the biggest one and most important is the artificial horizon. All right, we can always tell where the nose of the aircraft and the attitude of the aircraft is in relation to the horizon itself, even when we can't see outside. So the blue is the sky, brown is the ground. You've probably seen one of these before. But the most important out of all of it is that little black square there. You're going to hear me refer to that the whole time.
Okay.
That's the most important part. It represents exactly where the nose is in relation to the horizon itself. All right. That being said, we're always going to kind of have a nose-up attitude. All right. Even when we descend. Unless we're really, really high, we generally want to keep the nose above this line here. So we always want to have it in the blue. All right. And well, you start getting it down here, you're going to definitely see that whole meteorite scenario take place.
Right.
All right. So when we go and take off, I'm going to call rotate. You're going to be about 15 degrees nose up. So that's 2 lines above the 10 here.
Okay.
All right. And about 1,000 feet above the ground, we'll bring the nose down to about 10 degrees and kind of accelerate up to 3,500 feet. But straight and level for us, when we want to just maintain our current altitude, is going to be in between 2.5 degrees, so that first line up, and that second line up, that being 5. Okay? So you're just basically putting that square right in that middle space there. That should hold us at our altitude. All right? Cool. All right. So navigation displays here, just like a big GPS in your car. It'll work better than the GPS today. But for us, our compass is around the outside. That's called our directional gyro, or basically you've got our magnetic heading out the top. See that triangle there? Whatever that is pointing towards, that's what magnetic direction we're going to be going in. So we're facing roughly east-southeast right now, or 0.99 degrees. All right. The 2 lines in the center, that's our runway. That's 10 right at Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And then you see this little 23 here? Mm-hmm. That's other traffic. So it'll display traffic on our navigation display there. It's called TCAS, Traffic Collision Avoidance System. I wouldn't worry about traffic today. They can't really hurt us. They'll just fly right through us. But normally, yeah, it kind of freaks people out.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Moving over to here. That's our landing gear. We're going to bring up our landing gear when we go and take off. Streamlines the aircraft. Allows us to go faster, less drag. All right. But you definitely want to remember to bring it back down. Otherwise, we're a $93 million, 70-ton lawnmower when we hit the ground, if we're lucky.
Right.
All right. So all you have to do is pull, once I can say positive rate of climb, pull out and then up, so the landing gear will go up, and then when we come in to land, out and then down. It's going to take a little bit of force. It doesn't move it doesn't come out as smooth as I'd like it, but it still works. That's the important part. All right. Engine indicators are here. The N1 is what we set our power for. That's the large fans in front of the engines. Those produce about 85% of our thrust. That's why we use it to measure how much power we're getting out of the engines, or how much thrust. All right, and that's in a percentage of total RPM. All right. EGT's exhaust gas temperature, exactly how it sounds. That's how hot the gases are actually coming out of the turbines in the back.
Okay.
That's in Celsius. That's pretty hot. It's almost hot enough to melt lead. Yeah. So it can get a lot hotter, and when it does, you'll probably hear this. And time to pull the T-handles. Yeah, exactly. So that's our fire suppression system here. I haven't had it happen yet, but it's aviation, so you never know. All right. Cool.
Okay.
I won't really get too much into this right now. This is the flight management computer, or FMC. Virtually every aspect of your flight is programmed into here before you even push back from the gate. You're out to how fast you want to go, you name it. It all goes into here. All right. And once we get to our next destination, we'll find out. I'll walk you through it.
Okay.
All right. Cool. That's about it for me. Do you have any questions so far? I know I just hit you over the head with a massive sledgehammer info, but it will all make sense of it. Absolutely. All right. So, without any further ado, one last thing I'll point out to you.
Are we about to get hit here?
They're going to go around. Yeah. You'll notice that that's at 300 feet, and once it's within 300 feet and they're descending, it turns red.
Okay.
But you're about to see them.
They're gonna come over us.
Yeah, they'll go around, and then they'll either go left or right. And you can see that up arrow there. It shows that they're climbing. Yeah. So we're about to be very popular.
There we
Yeah, there we go. Yep. So he's going to be left traffic. Little RJ. All right. So one last thing I'll have you notice is, do you see where the line is? The center line of the runway? Where does it fall on the glare shield for you? This being the glare shield, of course.
What do you mean, where does it fall? It's on this side of the...
Right. So it looks a little bit off, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's not centered, yeah.
Right, exactly. So you want to line up whatever you're pointing the aircraft at between here and here. It's just because you're sitting far over to the left and I'm sitting far over to the right, our viewpoint of what center actually changes. So you can't really use this too much, otherwise you're going to be off to the right.
Okay.
All right. And the other thing is, one thing I'll point out is that we've got a curved screen, so it may look like things are kind of going to the right for you. Trust me, they're not. Just maintain, just remember where that, whatever you're pointing at, or just draw a line straight down through your right leg. All right.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Got it.
Cool. All righty. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and turn on the fasten seatbelt signs. You can go ahead and do that. All right. People in the cheap seats know that we're ready. We mean business. Okay. Outboard lights, inboard lights. Those are two big, or the set of really bright white lights that you might see when you're coming into land. Okay. So, park and brake is here, so you can push that forward. Okay. Left hand on the yoke. Right hand on the throttles. All right. Just doing my checks here. Engine start is continuous. Auto throttles armed, set for V2. Auto brake is set for rejected takeoff. Anything that happens if we lost an engine before hitting V1, so which is our rotation speed, or our decision speed, I should say. We have enough runway that we know we have enough runway so we can actually get the aircraft stopped. Anything happens after V1, doesn't matter if an engine blows off the wing. We got to go. Exactly.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So what I'm going to have you do is throttle up to about 40%. Right about there. That looks good. Okay. And you can go ahead and hit that black button for me.
That one?
Yep. Away we go. Just use your feet to steer. All right. Power set. There you go. Just small movements ought to do it. Okay. Takeoff power set. Airspeed's alive. When I call rotate, that black square right there, remember the one that I was talking about on the artificial horizon?
Yep.
Just pull back so it goes up to about 15 degrees up. Alrighty, 90 knots. Looks good. Okay, V1, rotate. Start pulling back. A little bit more.
What am I aiming for again?
15 degrees, so
15, that's right.
you got it. Okay, perfect. Just hold it right there.
Okay.
All right, we got a positive rate of climb. You can bring the gear up, so out and then up. Okay, cool. There's 1,000 feet AGL, so we're going to bring the nose down to 10 degrees, so push the nose forward.
Okay.
Just give it a good push. Like I said, you got to be kind of aggressive to get it to do what you want it to do.
Overshoot.
Absolutely. Okay.
So does it hold, like if I release the pressure, it holds kind of?
Kind of.
Still have to watch it.
Exactly.
A little bit.
Okay, flaps can go up to 1. And we're going to climb up to 4,500 feet.
Okay.
All right, bring the nose down even more.
Oops.
Okay, now you can bring the nose down in between 2.5 degrees and 5, so in between that first and second line.
Okay.
Give it a good push. There you go. Very well done. All right. If you take a look outside, there's the bird down there.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you like Steelers fans.
You have to if you live in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. They bleed black and gold.
Yeah, we lived there before.
Oh, okay.
Going back, so we know.
So you know all about it.
Yeah.
I would make just a trip down there just to go to Permane Brothers.
It's very good.
Yeah, that's what I hear. There's something insane about putting fries on a burger.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
One of our first stops when we're back finally.
All right, cool.
Nice.
Well, they did a good job on Pittsburgh, it looks like. It's Heinz Field down there. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to see from where you are. Okay, cool. See, nothing to it, right?
Oh, piece of cake.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of info going into it, but it eventually makes sense. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and make a right turn. So what I'm going to have you do is just bring the nose up to about 5 degrees. Just split the box in half with that 5-degree line there. All right, now start turning to the right. Just bring that triangle right over to about where the 2 is, and just basically just hold it there throughout the whole turn. Keep going, a little bit more.
Wait, which triangle where the 2 is?
This one right here.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
And just bring the nose down just a little bit. There you go. So what that'll do is basically give us about 25 degrees of bank. Now you can see that up here. So that triangle here, you generally want that in between that long dashed line and that second one, the second short line.
So I'm going too far then? Or wait, I can go more.
Yep, exactly. So that triangle, the transparent one or the blue one, moves in the opposite direction of your turn.
Okay.
But obviously, as you add more bank, you want to add more back pressure just to keep the box right where it is, because you can see that we're descending a little bit. And we have swept wings, so that doesn't really bode well for us when we're going kind of on the slow side. Would love to know why it says my autopilot is on. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. So far, so good. So basically what we're doing is we're going to make, so we're, obviously it looks like we're turning to the right. So we're going to wait until we get this pink line here. So it's about 10 degrees off of our turn. So this is the direction where we want to go, because we're going to be making a what's called a downwind. So we're going to be going in the opposite direction of our runway, or a runway heading anyway. So the way that we roll out is, since we're about there, so what you do is just neutralize the controls and then start turning in the opposite direction. But you can keep a little bit of a turn to the right in there, since we're a little bit off, but not too bad. Well, that was interesting. There goes the autopilot. Good, because we're not going to use it anyway. Now, they use the autopilot for a number of reasons. First of which, it's easier on the aircraft. Second of which, it makes a lot smoother turns than an average pilot would make. And it's more economical, especially with the engines.
Okay.
All right. There you go. Perfect. Very well done. So you can see Pittsburgh down there. So we're going to be, you can kind of see where our runway is. That's that long one that kind of goes off in that direction, pointing towards the city, the opposite direction where we came from. Yep, so what we're going to do is we're going to fly. Yep, so we're right here.
Right.
Again, Pittsburgh's right over there. So we're going to fly up to this inner ring here. We'll slow down. We'll make a right-hand turn. So we line up with this white dashed line. All right, if we line up with that, we're basically dead center with the middle of our runway. But so far, so good. This is going to be the easiest flight I've had all week.
So is this made more tolerant for people like me coming in here that don't know what they're doing, or is this?
In fact, this is the exact opposite. Simulators are meant to be really touchy.
Okay.
That only is because once you get on the actual aircraft, well, it's touchy because it teaches you finesse.
Right.
So you're not making jerky movements, you know. Obviously, that'd be bad news once you get on board, like an actual aircraft. So if you can handle this, yeah, you can probably handle the real thing.
Okay.
Just don't, if you know, you get that instance where they say, hey, is anybody a pilot in the background? Just don't tell them I sent you. All right.
We'll be getting calls.
Exactly. So in order to know that we're straight and level, you want to basically get those two triangles at the top of the artificial horizon here to just kind of point towards each other. Remember, the blue triangle moves on the opposite direction of the turn. There you go. No worries. There you go. Perfect. Nice and easy. And if you want to make small corrections with your heading, you can use the rudder pedals. You can add a little bit of pressure on either side. Like I said, those things are extremely sensitive, so.
Because I should be straight on the pink, right?
If you want to, but you know, I'm not a flight instructor, so I'm not gonna yell at you.
Right. That's the goal, though, to be
Yeah.
straight on the pink. So if I push right on the rudder pedal, I'll turn right.
Yeah, exactly. The only reason why I have that set up is just so our traffic patterns are symmetrical. If they are, we don't have to make crazy turns. You know what I mean? All right, there you go. But as you use the rudder, the plane wants to bank. But yeah, you can see that we have a slight turn to the right, so you see that bending line here. That's going to come in handy when we start turning down to our base to final turn. All right, there you go.
So I'm going to try to follow that. And
Yep. So what we can do now is you can slow us down to 200 knots. There you go. Okay, and we're going to start a descent down to 3,500 feet. So just basically keep the nose of the aircraft right about where it is, and just straighten us out just a little bit. You could even use a little bit of left rudder. There you go. Perfect. Yep, that looks good. So keeping the nose just below the 2.5 degree line will give us about 1,000 foot per minute descent. That's about average for what we want. Anything more than that, then yeah, again, you turn into the Chelyabinsk meteorite. All right, cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is momentarily here we'll start our right-hand turn. Okay, so what I need you to do is start bringing the nose up. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You want to keep it just above that 5 degree line. Right about there, actually, would be perfectly fine. We're just going to bleed off some airspeed before we start turning our turn to the right.
Okay.
All right. So you can go ahead and do that now. So we'll start a right-hand turn. Just keep the nose right about where it is. Because, again, we're going slower, so we need to actually compensate that with angle of lift, or angle of pitch. So you want to keep pulling back. Looks good to me.
So really, to get back to the airport when you're flying around, it's visual watching the
Pretty much, yeah.
But then how do you know, okay, when I'm 5 miles out, I should be this height, and 3 miles out, that height? Or is there just standard rules for that?
Yeah, generally it's standard operating procedure, but usually we have instrument approaches, and they're set up by waypoints. So at each waypoint, you know to be at a certain altitude.
So there's waypoints leading up to the airport, and at that waypoint you have to be certain. Okay.
Yep. All right, so we'll turn a little bit tighter. There we go. That must be 3 Mile Island out there. Yeah, we're going to avoid that. All right, a little bit tighter. Just basically keep that turn in there to the same amount. All right. Just bring the nose up a little bit more. Okay, slow us down to 180 knots now. There you go.
So even though
Keep pulling back.
Even though I don't see the airport on the screen, I just follow that white circle, kind of.
Kind of. All right, but if you line up with this white dashed line, that leads us directly to the airport.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you can bring the flaps 1 now.
So I'd have to do like a full 360 still almost?
Nope, you're only about 20 degrees off from our runway. So start rolling up.
There it is. Oh.
Yep, there you go.
I was looking at the bottom of the white line.
Yeah, you'd be perfectly, if you were taking off in the opposite direction and you follow that white line, yeah, you'd be okay, but the goal is to get close to the runway, not far away from it. All right, so take a look outside. So we're a little bit canted off to the right, of course.
Okay.
All right. Do you see our runways out there?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to be going to the big one on the right.
Okay.
All right, so basically all I need you to do is line up between here and here, so that's straight up and down. All right, so next thing we're going to do is actually start slowing down even more. So you can set flaps 5, and we'll do 160 knots. And it looks like Pittsburgh International is on a plateau for some reason. And if I remember correctly, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
All right. So, what I can have you do now is bring down the landing gear. Okay, 150 knots. Flaps to 15. All right. So just a little bit to the left and bring the nose up just slightly. We're a little bit on the low side. Perfect. All right, so you're going to hear 1,500, 100, and then 50 come out of the ceiling. That's just our radar altimeter giving off altitude cues. So at each altitude, we know to do something. Now, don't worry about that. We know that's the beauty of flying during the day. We know where we know where it all is. All right, cool. Okay, flaps can go to 30. There you go. And we'll do 143 knots. All right, this one's going to be a touch and go. So we're going to get the airplane on the ground. We're going to throttle up halfway, then all the way. But once you hear 100 feet, what I need you to do is just put your right hand on the throttles. When you hear 50 feet, just bring them all the way back. We're going to bring the nose up just very, very slowly and slightly, just so that the main gear touches first. All right. I'll walk you through it. Okay, lights can go on. There you go. And now just basically be looking outside. There you go. Good, gears down 3 green, flaps are down green light. We are cleared to land. Remember to steer with your feet also. Very, very important. All right. So just to have a little bit of left rudder just so we're straight up and down with it. All right, looking good. A little bit more to the left. Like I said, everything kind of looks like it's going to the right. Trust me, it's not. All right. Nose can come up just a little bit. Looks like there's somebody on our runway, but not a big deal again. So just a little bit more to the left. All right, so we're at 100 feet, so I'm going to have you put your right hand on the throttles. At 50 feet, just bring them all the way back. Nice and easy. Look at that, 2 red, 2 white. That means we're on the glide slope. We're perfectly exactly where we need to be.
Okay.
That's perfectly fine. We got a nice long runway.
Okay. Plane in front of us.
That's it. All the way back. Ease the nose up. Just look down on the far end of the runway. Not at this guy here. Beautiful. Nicely done. Okay, throttle up halfway. Now all the way.
Whoa.
Just use your feet.
Yeah.
There you go. Airspeed's alive. And V1 rotate. There you go. 15 degrees nose up again. There you go.
Go back.
Bring the yep, just keep pushing it forward. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, nose down to 10 degrees. Landing gear can go up. There you go. Very, very well done. All right, flaps up all the way.
0.
Yep. Very, very well done. What'd you think of that?
That's fine.
I thought that looked pretty good to me. All right, nose can come down in between the first line and the second line. There you go. All right. Beautiful landing. Absolutely. We were dead center on the runway. Nice, soft touchdown. I mean, as far as airliners go, this aircraft is actually pretty docile as far as landing is concerned. Everything else is kind of, well, skewed. But it's a Boeing product. No matter how hard you land a thing, short of crashing it, it can take it. If this were exactly, if this were an Airbus, probably would have freaked out. Because, well, you have a computer in between you and your controls when you're flying an Airbus. Here, you can fly into the ground, it won't protest too much. It will yell at you, but it won't intervene.
Right,
All right, so what do you say we change it up a little bit? All right. So So what we'll do is we'll try it at night this time. And we're dead. No, I'm just kidding. It's one of my favorites. All right. So we'll go ahead and make that right turn one more time. Nose up to 5 degrees, 25 degrees a bank. There we go. How yins guys doing? I think that's how they say you guys.
I got to get back into the language out there.
All right, a little bit tighter of a turn. There you go.
Where was the degree of bank again?
So, see those lines at the top there? See where your blue triangle is? So you kind of want it in between the second line and the third line.
Okay, that's right.
So a little bit more to the right. There you go. Just keep.
I see.
Yep, there you go. All right, and now you got to keep pulling back so we don't descend. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Be aggressive. Right about there. That looks good. So you want to just basically keep that black square right on that line. Perfect. See, nothing to it.
When you have help.
It would be really entertaining just to, I could have just closed the door and just had, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oops.
And just keep that turn in there.
Yeah.
There you go. Nose can come down a little bit. All right, neutralize, opposite direction. Kind of on the heart. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Bring the nose down.
Oops.
There you go. And we'll follow a little the pink line a little bit more. All right. So a little bit to the left. There you go.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And bring the nose down just a little bit. There you go. Yeah, if you're only doing about like 5 degrees a bank, you don't need to bring the nose up to 5 degrees, nose up anyway. All right. Now you can just roll this out here, that's fine. Neutralize, opposite direction. There you go. It's like changing lanes on a highway. All right, looks good so far.
A little more.
No, you're fine.
I went past. Oops.
Doesn't have to be precise. We're doing pretty well. Okay. All right, nose can come down. And just bring it to a little bit more to the right there. There you go. Yep, perfect. You got it. All right, this one's going to be a full stop. So we're going to just maintain 3,700 feet. That should be fine for us. We'll do another right-hand turn once we get about up to here. And then we'll come in for a full stop and we'll change it up. Allegheny County out in front of us. Interesting little airport that is. Nope, actually Allegheny County is behind us. Never mind.
Yeah, I've lost my bearings. Where?
Pittsburgh is off to our right, the airport anyway.
Oh, yeah, there's the airport.
Yep. bring the nose down just so you get those two lines, the square in between those two lines. There you go. It's a very thin margin as to whether we're climbing or descending. All right, you can go ahead and slow us down. 200 knots. All right. We're starting to bleed off airspeed, so start bringing the nose up in between the first line, in between the second line and the third line. There you go. Okay, we'll start making that right-hand turn now. So we line up with the white dashed line, the straight white dashed line anyway. Okay. 180 knots now. Make this one kind of a short approach. Don't want to bank too much. There you go. Keep that nose coming up. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
You have to wait for a second and
oh yeah.
It's away from
it's like looking after a drunk friend at a party. All right, flaps to 1. There you go. They modeled 3 Mile Island disturbingly well here. That's kind of crazy. All right, just keep that turn in there. There you go. Yeah, if you roll the controls to the center, it's going to want to start bringing out that. Yep, exactly. Looking really good so far. All right, there's Pittsburgh International right there, coming around to our 1 o'clock.
Do I want to start straightening out? Or?
Bring the nose down, actually. We're going to start descending. Okay, flaps to 5. 160. All right, you can plainly see our runway out here out in front of us. So we'll bring the nose down in between the horizon and the first line up. And just roll out. Neutralize, opposite direction. And a little bit to the left. Now just compare what you're seeing outside with what you're seeing inside. Okay, landing gear can go down. Flaps 15. Speed brake arm. Yep, there you go, perfect. Lights can go on. All right, a little bit to the left. Again, just line up the runway with your right knee. Okay, gears down 3 green.
Put them out straight to it though.
Yep, so we want to keep going to the left a little bit more.
To the left.
Yep, so you basically want that runway straight up and down with us. Bring the nose up just slightly. There you go.
Go back to the right.
Yep, just keep that nose up a little bit more. Flaps to 30. And we'll do 142 knots. All right, as soon as we get on the ground, we'll pull the thrust reverses as well. And we'll stop straight ahead. But we've got our auto brakes armed, so be careful not to touch your toe brakes. Otherwise, it'll disarm it, and if you don't realize it's disarmed, well, you're going to go off the end. Yeah, exactly. A little bit more to the left. There you go. Okay, moment of truth. All right, 100 feet, you get these back. 50 feet, just bring them all the way back to idle. Bring the nose up just above the horizon. Keep going, keep going. Keep bringing the nose up. There you go. A little bit more to the left, just very, very slightly. There you go. Perfect. Just a slight bit of right rudder. There you go. Looking really good. All right, throttles are yours. When you hear 50, just bring them back. All right, start bringing the nose up. That's all right.
30, 20.
Looks good to me. Beautiful. All right, thrust reversers. Just use your feet. We should slow down actually pretty quickly. All right, reversers can go off. All right, just use your toe brakes to get us stopped. All right, well done. Well done indeed.
Wow.
Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Wow. Again.
All right. So, give it any thought where you want to go next? You want to do St. We can do St. Martin. We can do.
Go somewhere different. What's a good one?
Let's see. We could do the DC approach. That's always an interesting one.
Yeah, try that.
All right. I'll do runway 19. Whoa! That's weird. Let me try that one more time. That was not supposed to happen. And we're definitely not supposed to be doing...
Be in the air when you start.
Yeah, exactly. Let's try that again. That was fun and exciting. I've never seen that happen. There we go. That's a little bit more tame for us. All right. I'm also going to change the time of day as well. Every once in a while, this thing will do a little bit of weird stuff.
Mind of its own.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give us some more gas here. All right, cool. You can turn on our fuel pumps here. Just pull them down and then forward. Yep, there you go. Cool. All right, so I just need to program the FMS real quick. Obviously, we're not at Pittsburgh anymore, so we're going to go to KDCA. All right. The system now knows exactly where we are. We're going to put in our route, so KDCA. Confuse it quite a bit, telling it we're going to the same place. That's not something it normally sees. We're going to be taking off on runway 19, landing on runway 19. We'll activate it. Now it knows where we're going. Still confused, but it still knows where we're going. All right, we're going to take off, climb to about 3,000 feet. That should do it. All right. And 23.5%. Aft CG. Give us our speeds here in a second. All right, we'll go back to that. Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm going to pop in our fix. So we got our rings here now. Okay. I'm just going to program this real quick. We're going to be taking off at 144 knots. We're going to start off just doing a normal traffic pattern. And we're going to do it the way that they normally do it. Have you ever been to Reagan National?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, it's weird. Yeah. Let's see, 190. It's 45 degrees off. So we'll do 145. 145. All right. set that for ejected takeoff. We got somewhat of a short runway, but not too bad. So the way we're going to do it is I'm going to go ahead and change the wind around real quick as well. Nah, won't even bother. Okay, let me just pop that in. That's 147, off by 2 degrees. Precision is key sometimes when you're dealing with aircraft. So I'm going to plug that into the 109.9. There we go. 109.9. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. So, welcome to DC. All right. So what we're going to do is just kind of the same thing we did the last time. We'll take off, climb to about 3,000 feet. We'll make. Why not? We'll do something that we can't normally do, is fly over downtown DC or the mall.
Oh, okay.
All right. So park and brake. You can push that forward. Recycle with a fasten seatbelt sign. Just off and then on again. All righty. Cool. Flaps are set for 5. So we're good on that. Engine starters are continuous. Auto throttle set. Auto brakes are set for ejected takeoff. And we're good to go. So what we're going to do, left hand on the yoke, right hand on the throttle. Throttle up to 40. So right about there. Okay. So you can go ahead and push the black button again. Away we go. Little bit of right rudder. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, it's touchy.
Very sensitive.
Okay, airspeed's a lot. 80 knots. Checked. Okay. V1 rotate. 15 degrees nose up. There you go. Alrighty. Positive rate of climb. Gear can come up. All right, there's about 1,000 feet, so nose can come down to 10 degrees. I'll speed this up here. Flaps up to 1. And flaps all the way up. All right, cool. Alrighty. So what we'll do is, we'll continue climbing up to 3,000. That should be fine for us. Give the Secret Service a heart attack. All right. Now nose can come down in between the 2 lines again, in between 2.5 degrees and 5. Keep going. Keep going. All right about there. That looks good. All right, so we'll start making a left-hand turn. So bring the nose up. Start turning to the left. There you go. Not too much. Just bring the nose down a little bit. There you go. A little bit tighter of a turn. There you go. Nose can come down just a little bit. There you go. Yeah, you just want to keep that black square right on that line.
Get distracted.
Oh yeah, it's very easy to do.
5 and 10.
That's Andrews Air Force Base over there. I don't see Air Force One.
Oops.
After watching House of Cards, I can't really look at this place the same way again. I would check that out. It's a heck of a series.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
All right, well, so we'll start rolling out here. Neutralize, opposite direction. Nose can come down. There you go.
See anything?
The Washington Monument and is all over on that direction.
Oh, I think I see it.
Yep. Yeah, there's a Capitol and the White House. Pentagon's on the opposite side of the Potomac there.
Oh, yeah.
It's where all the magic happens.
The detail of the scenery is just amazing.
It is.
All that in there.
Absolutely. I've got the traffic at 12 o'clock. He's no factor for us. All right, so we'll descend down to, we'll call it 2,500.
Turn it.
Yeah, if you want to. It won't really do anything for us.
Oh.
But just kind of a placeholder. There you go. Nose can come down. So right about there, that should be good. All right, looking good. So we're going to do it this way at first, and then the next time we go around, we're going to do it the way the actual airlines go into D.C., which is really messed up, to say the very least. All right, so we're going to start bringing the nose up at about 2,600 feet. All right, there you go. Cool. All righty, so right about there, that looks good. Okay. Slow us down to 200 knots. And we'll bring the nose up again. And we'll make a left-hand turn. Yep, just basically keep it right about where it is. And we'll do 180 knots now. All right, just keep that nose up above that 5-degree line there. Just keep pulling back. There you go. There's a little bit of delay in what you put in and what you actually get. Just requires a lot of anticipation, so we'll start turning to the left a little bit more. There you go. First notch of flaps. Don't want to descend any more than where you are now, so keep pulling back on that yoke. There you go. So right about there, that looks good. So on that third line up, that should work for us.
Okay.
Looking good. All right, you see Reagan out in that direction?
I think so, yeah.
All right, cool. It's kind of off by itself, makes it a little bit easier to see. It's right along the right bank of the Potomac there. All right, so we'll start bringing the nose back down. 160 knots. Flaps 5. There you go. Okay. Landing gear down. Flaps 15. Nose can come down a little bit more. Just right above the horizon in the first line up. Don't worry about that. Give it a good push. As my instructor always used to say, fly the airplane, don't let the airplane fly you. All right, you see our runway out in front of us?
Yeah.
All right, so just bring it a little bit more to the left. And bring the nose up. Just slightly more, there you go.
Yeah, too far.
All right, nose can come up a little bit more. Okay, flaps 30. And again, this will be a touch and go. So just keep that nose right about there. And a little bit more to the left. Okay. You're going to get up close and personal with the monument there. Jefferson Memorial's off to our right.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh yeah, and the Lincoln Memorial. I don't know how I could forget that. It's off to our. It's actually off to our right. That's Jefferson right there. Yeah, real close. They don't like this. Trust me. All righty. So we'll start bringing the nose back up a little bit.
Oops. Yeah.
No, we were actually doing okay.
Oh, is that right?
So we're sinking right back onto the glide slope. So right about there, that's perfect.
500.
All right, 100 feet, you get these back. 50 feet, you know what to do. And just bring the nose down just a little bit. There you go. All right, so there you go, a little bit to the left. Just a little bit more. There you go. Feet can go on the rudder pedals. There you go. Start bringing the nose back up. Right about there. Throttles are yours. All the way to idle.
30, 20, 10.
Okay, throttle up halfway. Now all the way. And this guy's going around.
Surprise.
Oh, yeah, I know. All right, V1, rotate, 15 up.
That was fast.
There you go. Yeah, you run on a runway real quick. Okay. Landing gear up. Flaps up to 1. And we'll just climb up to 2,500 feet. That should be fine. All right, nose can come down in between 2.5 degrees and 5. I'm just kind of relieving some of the control pressure here. All right, keep giving it a good push. There you go.
Bumpy ride?
Yeah, a little bit, not too bad. Alrighty. So, not only are we going to do the DCA approach, we're going to do it in some interesting circumstance, make this thing a little bit more interesting.
Okay.
Alright, so what I want you to do is just go ahead and make a right-hand turn. And we'll bring the nose up even more. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep pulling back. Just keep that nose down. There you go. And we'll make it at night. Why not?
Cloudy.
Oh, yeah.
Rain.
Oh, yeah. All right, we'll bring the nose down. We'll change the wind up a little bit, so we're not dealing with like a 15-knot tailwind when we're coming over the threshold. Makes our runway a little bit longer than it needs to be, and we definitely don't want that since we don't have a really long runway. All right, neutralize, opposite direction. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going to the left, 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 left. There you go, keep going. All right, nose can come back down. There we go. Perfect. All right, I'm going to plug the DC arrival. This is going to look really weird, but you'll be fine.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, it looks weird, but that's only because we have Reagan and Reagan both put into here as a arrival and destination, so our origin and destination, so it makes it look a little bit strange, but essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be coming in at almost like a 45-degree angle, or a 45-degree, we're off by the runway heading by about 45 degrees. The runway heading is 190. We're going to be coming in at 147 or 145.
Oh.
All right, so tell you what, I'm going to just go ahead and clear this. Execute, okay. All right, just bring the nose up just a little bit more. There you go. Okay. Now what I want you to do is we'll turn in this direction here. Yeah, there you go. And we'll just hold this out here for a little while longer. Not too much bank. Not too much bank. There you go. Just bring the nose up. All right, neutralize. Opposite direction. Got to be kind of aggressive with the opposite direction. There you go. There you go. And nose can come back down. You don't need that much bank when just use a little bit of rudder pressure when you only want to change about 5 degrees. But other than that, pretty good. Keep in mind, this is the first time you're flying a 70-ton jet.
A little margin for error.
Yes, there is. All right. Cool.
Back on the line.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be followed perfectly, but
I know. It's just, I want to get it there.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Okay.
That's pretty close.
All right. And then now we'll slow us down to a 200 knots. What I'm going to have you do is turn to a heading of 147 degrees.
To the left.
To the right. You know what? We'll make it to the left. Why not? Sorry, that was a little bit off, but bring the nose up. Nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That's it. All right. Now I want you to turn in the opposite direction now. So we're going to line up with the white dashed line again. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Just line up with the white dashed line.
Oh, down the bottom there.
Yep, just keep pulling back, less bank. There you go. Keep pulling back, keep pulling back. There you go. That's it. Before they sick the F-15s on us. All right, nose can come down. And just keep that turn in there. There you go. Whole lot of nothing out there below this cloud deck.
Yeah, can't see much.
Nope. All right, just kind of straighten out here for a little bit. Nose can come down. Just want to use smooth movements. The best way you can do it. Smooth but aggressive. All right, so we'll start turning to the left again. Excuse me, to the right. There you go. Keep going. Keep pulling back. Not too much bank. There you go. All right, keep that turn in there. There you go, right there. That looks good.
So you said the white line?
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Keep going. All right, now neutralize. Opposite direction. There you go. Just bring the nose down. All right. Now just bring us slightly to the right. Bring the nose up so we don't descend too much. Okay. So, I'm just going to set us up here real quick. All right, perfect. All right, so we'll just kind of hold this altitude, 160 knots now. All right. Flaps to 5. Set our auto brakes to 3. All righty. You can set our speed brake. There you go. All right, this one's going to be a little bit off, so we're going to have to turn at the last minute to line up with the runway. So again, we're about 45 degrees off of our actual runway heading. All right. Our runway heading is a little bit off to the right. So runway heading of 190, we're at 147 right now. All right. But we're doing well. So a little bit to the left. Okay, landing gear can come down. 150. Just bring the nose up just a little bit. There you go. Flaps to 15. A little bit of clouds here, but not too bad. We should break out pretty soon. All right, you can turn the lights on. Let's bring the nose up just a little bit more. There you go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep the nose up even more. Flaps to 30. And we'll bring the nose down because we're going to have to fight it a little bit. There we go. All right. You see that white line out there? The white flashing lights? So you see the monument over here?
Right.
And then if you draw a line right off to the right, that's our runway. So we need to come a little bit more to the left.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it.
Yep. There you go. And 143 knots. And we'll bring the nose down just a little bit. Just keep it right above the horizon. And I'm just going to draw that over to 190. That's it. So you can see how we're off about 45 degrees.
Right.
That's how they normally do it to avoid the restricted airspace over off to the left. There you go. Now you're doing well. You can bring the nose down a little bit. We're a little bit high. We got a strong enough crosswind pushing us from the.
I was wondering if that was the wind or if I was.
Oh no, that's the wind.
Okay.
And it keeps changing airspeed too. So it's now down to 10 degrees, and then. Alrighty. So what we'll do, you can start turning to the right, just so we line up with the runway. Not too much. There you go. Just bring the nose up. Just keep going. Keep bringing the nose up. Right about there. Now let's turn a little bit more to the right. That's our runway right here. Do you see it?
Yeah.
All right. Bring the nose down. Right about there. Keep turning to the right. Keep going. Just keep it constant turn to the right. Now bring the nose up. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep bringing the nose up. Right about there. All right. A little bit less of a bank. All right. Nose can come down a little bit. There you go. Oh, look at that. A little bit to the left. Just a little bit more. That's it. All right. At 100 feet, you get these back. 50 feet, you know what to do. And we're going to use the thrust reversal since this will be a full stop. Look at that. Red, well, a little bit. All right, just bring the nose down just a little bit more. There you go. All right, now start bringing the nose back up. Keep bringing the nose up. No, throttles are yours. All the way to idle. All the way back. There you go. A little bit of left rudder. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, a little bit of left rudder. There you go. Thrust reversers. A little bit of right rudder. There you go. Perfect. That's the DCA approach.
Wow.
All right.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, it's better than running into the monument.
Yeah.
All right. You can release the parking or bring the parking brake out. There you go. Okay. Cool.
Wow.
All right. Let's see. Let's think of a really interesting one to try and do. You ever heard of the old Kai Tak Airport out of Hong Kong? You want an eye-opening experience? That's probably...
Let's go for it.
All right, cool. That is a fan favorite. Okay, so what I need to do here is just a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to 088 on the course. It's kind of like the DCA approach, except on steroids.
Oh, because there's mountains and everything around it?
Mountains, city, water, you name it. It throws it all at you. But you should have no problem with this. Let's see, 075. Okay. All right, I'm going to give us some more gas again. You turn on our fuel pumps. The center tank, I'm sorry. All right. All right, we're definitely not in DC anymore. Okay, Victor Hotel, Hotel, Hotel. Going to Victor Hotel, Hotel, X-ray, not backslash. There we go. Taking off out of runway 7 right, just under, and it is a long runway, just under 13,000 feet long. We're going to be going to runway 13. That is just under 11,000 feet long. However, it will not feel that way at all. All right. Performance looks good. You know, we're at 52,400 kilos without fuel on board, and we'll be taking off at about 61,400 kilos. So that's times 2.2. You can kind of do the math there. The reason why it's in kilos is because, well, the simulator was built and it's catered to everywhere else but the United States. So this is the first one here.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of left this in the dust, but the rest of the world, well,
They're happy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, our V speeds are in there. I'm just going to plug this in. All right. Okay, cool. We'll do 111.9. Okay, cool. We'll just make sure that we're all set to go. You can recycle the fasten seatbelt sign. Alrighty. Arm the auto throttle. Just push up on that until you get a green light. Perfect. All right. And just start as continuous. Auto throttle's arm set for V2. Auto brake is set for rejected takeoff. That's good. Flaps are set for 5. We're good. All right. Parking brake. You can go ahead and push that forward. Okay. So go ahead and do a standard takeoff like we did the last time. Up to 40%. Okay, go ahead and hit the black button. And away we go. We're just going to climb up to 2,000 feet, and we're going to keep the flaps in there, and we're not going to be going all that fast, because we're really close to where we need to go. So we got a little bit of a crosswind from the right, so we're just add a little bit of left rudder there. There you go. Airspeed's live, 80 knots, checked. Okay, V1, rotate. Okay, just level the wings to the right. Nose can come down a little bit. Give it a good push forward. Okay, positive rate, gear up. All right, there's 1,000 feet. Nose can come down to 10 degrees. Give it a good push. You basically just put your feet on the ground. You won't really need it too much. Give it a good push. There you go. Got to be really aggressive. And there's 2,000 feet. Okay, nose can come down in between 2.5 degrees and 5. Give it a good push. There you go. All right. Cool. Welcome to Hong Kong. Here's where things are going to get, well, silly.
Aiming toward a mountain.
That's exactly what we're going to do. It's funny how you say that. All right, you see that sandy mountain off in the distance there? Mm-hmm. Go ahead and point us towards that. And we'll go ahead and leave those on. That's it. All right, just level this out here. Bring the nose down. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep pushing the nose forward. There you go. Okay, so, you see that sandy mountain off in the distance there, obviously. Mm-hmm. All right. This is Victoria Harbor, and Kowloon Bay is actually on the other side. So we're going to, essentially, you see the city here, you see the sandy mountain. In between the sandy mountain and Kowloon City, or Hong Kong, is Kai Tak. Okay. You're going to see why they shut this place down in '98. All right. So we're just going to kind of continue off in this direction here. All right, so take a look at your nav screen. You see the white dashed line? The runway to Kai Tak goes off in that direction. So we're heading at roughly 135 or 130. Okay. All right. Cool.
So pick up the white line when you get to it.
So take a look outside. You see that white strip of, it almost looks like concrete out there in the middle of the water? Yep, that's where we're going. All right, so just put the nose right above the horizon, just above it. There you go. 170 knots. Okay. Okay, landing gear can come down. We'll do it a little bit early. Never hurts. Okay, flaps to 15. All right, 160 knots. All right, this is going to be a touch and go. So we're going to take off and we're going to climb runway heading up to 3,000 feet. And we're really going to do this one again. Just keep that nose just above the horizon. There you go. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. Bring the nose up a little bit more. Just a little bit more. There you go. Keep bringing the nose up a little bit more. That's it. And we're ready. You see all these flashing lights here?
Yeah.
Remember where those are. And these flashing lights, they curve around to the right, and they will basically line you straight up with the runway.
So follow down.
Yeah.
So should I start to turn down then?
In a second here. Okay, flaps to 30. And we'll do 143 knots. Okay, gears down 3 green, clear to land. All right, nose can come down quite a bit. Give it a good push. There you go. See our runway here?
Yep.
All right. All right, so start turning now. Not too crazy. Believe it or not, we're actually high. All right, just bring the nose up. You want it above the horizon now. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. All right, just keep that turn in there to the right. Look at that. Keep going to the right. A little bit more.
Yeah, you gotta watch the
All right, to the left.
computer, not the...
Nope, bring the nose up. And a little bit to the right. A little bit of right rudder. Bring the nose up. Throttles are yours. All the way to idle. A little bit to the right. Nice and easy. And bring the nose up a little bit. There you go. All right, just straighten us out a little bit. Off to the left. Okay. Throttle up halfway. Throttle up halfway. Now all the way. A little bit of left rudder. There you go. Okay, V1 rotate. Yeah, it's pretty nuts, huh?
Crazy.
All right. Positive brake, gear up.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So that's closed now, you said?
Yeah. All right, down to 10 degrees. Flaps up to 5.
Oops.
There you go. Now flaps all the way up. All right, there's 3,000. All right, now bring the nose all the way down, in between the two lines again. All right, so go ahead and hit the CMD button over here, this one here. You can let go.
So just hold that.
Yep, so we're going to go ahead and make a right-hand turn to 290. I know it looks a little bit difficult to read there. Not sure why.
Can't tell what the last numbers are.
Taking a look down here. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. You're at 230 right now. There you go. Yeah, that'll be fine. Perfect.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. You'd think we'd be flying a Russian airplane right now. All right. Yeah, exactly. All right. So I'm going to change it up. So we got a choice here. So we can either do night in a thunderstorm or sunset completely fogged in.
So fogged in, it's all instruments.
Same thing with the thunderstorm.
Maybe thunderstorm. Why not?
All right. Cool. That's
Because then you're going to slip on the runway potentially then too, right?
well, that's why we have the that's why we're going to use the anti-skid light device there. Go big or go home, right?
Oh.
Oh yeah. Separate the men from the boys on this one.
Oh, fireworks.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Okay.
4th of July, apparently.
Well, they usually do this every Friday night,
Oh.
believe it or not. All right. Cool. All right, so we're basically going to do the same thing again, only this time, obviously, much worse conditions.
See a thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so take a look down at the, you can take a look at my display here. So we're basically just heading in the opposite direction. So what we're going to be doing is something called the IGS. You know what an ILS is, right? Mm-hmm. Yep, we're going to be kind of doing the same thing. You know how an ILS lines you up directly with a runway, right? This one, however, does not. This one lines you up with a mountain. I don't know if you went in the turn. Did you see that mountain that was off to the left that had the big billboard on it? It looked like a big checkerboard, red and white checkerboard.
I didn't notice.
All right, that's perfectly fine. So what they do is they get low enough on the glide slope to be able to see that mountain. And if they see that mountain, they know they can make a safe turn. the high-tack heart attack is what it's called. And be able to make visual contact with the runway. You make visual contact with the runway, you can safely land the plane. That's what we're going to be doing.
Okay.
All right. So there's a couple ways we. Now, in your travels with Flight Sim or X-Plane, did you notice where the glide slope is and the localizer?
I never got that far.
Okay, no worries. No worries at all. All right. So the glide slope here, the up and down portion of the ILS, is on the right-hand side. So you see that transparent diamond right there?
Right.
That indicates whether we're above or below the glide slope. Typically, a glide slope is about 3 degrees of an angle towards the runway. All right, so you can see it coming alive right now. We're going to wait until it's about till we're below the glide slope. So this first circle here, we're going to wait until that gets up to about there, and then we're going to turn to about a perpendicular angle with this this solid magenta line. That being our final approach course. All right, and you can see how it's about 45 degrees off of the of our runway.
Right.
All right. Of course, you could always hand fly this if you want. That's up to you. All right, we're almost there. All right, so go ahead and slow this down to 200 knots. And turn right to 030. You got it? And the other interesting thing about why we're kind of doing it the way we're doing it is because of terrain avoidance. Now, you saw all those mountains out in the distance. Right. Take a look at my nav screen here. You can start seeing a little bit of orange around there. That means we're getting closer to those peaks.
Oh, okay.
So that'd be none too good for us. 180 knots, and we'll do flaps 1. Whew, that one was close. All right, so the autopilot is now going to go ahead hit the APP button for me. Perfect. So it's now going to interpret where the localizer is and where the glide slope is, and it will actually fly us down on the glide slope and localizer. So it'll essentially line us up with the mountain perfectly fine. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just turn it to our final approach course here. Now, it's probably going to want to correct a little bit since we're flying past our final approach course. But not to worry. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do 160 knots now and do flaps 5. There you go. All right, so what we're going to be looking for when we come back around are 2 bright white lights off in the distance. Remember those approach lights that? Yeah, exactly. All right. So you see those 2 bright ones out there?
Yep.
Once we get those flashing lights in sight, I'm going to have you disconnect the autopilot, and you're going to hand fly us in this beautiful weather.
Fireworks in a thunderstorm.
Yeah, that makes no sense. That's why I don't ask questions anymore. All right. So go ahead and set our auto brakes to max. Since we're going to have a pretty contaminated runway, we want the anti-lock braking system on our plane to be able to handle that sort of lack of braking action. Go ahead and on the speed brake. We'll do 150 knots now. And we'll bring the gear down. Flaps to 15. All righty. So we're right on the glide slope. That looks good. We're right on the localizer. So it's doing a very good job of handling, well, this awful weather. I mean, take a look at our wind here. 131 at 1.5. So technically it's blowing right down the middle of the runway, but that's going to change. You can see it kind of go up and down and up and down. Just gusted to 21 knots. Okay. Not ideal conditions to land a 70-ton jet. But, well.
Gotta do it.
Exactly. Where are you going to go? Back home? All right. So, you have the flashing lights in sight?
Oh, okay, I see.
So, as you remember, they go from one, see that big bright light on the left, and then the one on the right? So if you follow that all the way around, so the runway's here, You basically just make a right-hand turn, just falling right on top of them.
Okay.
You can see how they're connected by other white lights out there?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Okay, so whenever you're ready, you can disconnect the autopilot. So you see that button there? Hit that twice. All right, she's all yours. All right, so we'll start bringing the nose down a little bit. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Just above the horizon. All righty. Perfect. We'll bring the nose up just a little bit more. There you go, just right about there. That looks good. Flaps to 30. All right, gears down 3 green. We are clear to land. We have our flaps are down. We've got a green light. All righty. Yep, so you see how they curve around to the right?
Yeah.
Yep, and it'll line you directly right up with the middle of the runway. My nose can come down just a little bit. A little bit more. There you go.
Oh, wind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what we call wind shear. That's fun and exciting. And you got the runway in sight out there?
I think so, yeah.
See that green bar?
Oh, yeah,
yep.
yeah.
And that's the billboard that I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
So we got the billboard in sight, so we can now turn to the right. Not too much. Let's bring the nose up just a little bit more. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right about there, that looks good. You're doing all right. Bring the nose down now. Just level the wings, there you go. A little bit of left rudder. That should do it. Bring the nose down a little bit more. A little bit to the left. Perfect. Okay, start bringing the nose back up. Throttles are yours. 100. Start bringing the nose up, all the way to idle. Very nicely done. Just hold it right there. A little bit of a bounce, but not bad. Perfect. Nice. All right, thrust reversers. And just bring us back over to the center line. So a little bit of left rudder.
Oh,
yep.
I was looking at the wrong spot.
Yeah, no worries. If you were thinking that was center line and you were aiming for that, I've got no complaints.
Still safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Land it still.
Thrust reversers off. All right, so what we're going to do now is basically take ourselves off the runway. So you see that little sign out there?
Yep.
All right, so we'll just throttle up a little bit. And we're going to use the steering tiller to actually turn us around to the left or right. So if you roll it forward, nose gear goes to the right. Roll back, nose gear goes to the left. If you think the rudders are sensitive, you have no idea. Those are extremely sensitive, so just be very careful. Just kind of squeeze it in the direction where you want it to go. But you need to hold it in there until the turn is complete. All right, so you see these green lights up here?
Right.
All right, just throttle all the way back. And don't forget to use your toe brakes if you think we're going too fast. All right, there you go. Start turning to the left. Just hold it all the way down, all the way down. Keep going to the left, 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 left. Just hold it all the way down until the turn is complete. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Because on the other side of that red light, that's water.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, so I'm following those green lights.
You got it. We're going to bring it right over to the terminal.
Go.
Yep, like I said, just try not to fight yourself. So just kind of hold it in the direction where you want it to go. Just kind of squeeze it and release if you need to. All right, you can throttle up a little bit more. So right about there, that should be fine. 30% N1 is about what we use for taxi. All right, you can throttle all the way back. See where you came from? See those bright white lights out there? Straight out in front?
Oh, straight ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep bringing it over to the left a little bit more. There you go. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, where we took off from the first time is the brand new Hong Kong airport. Well, brand new as of '98 anyway. But as you can see, it's a polar opposite. It's surrounded by nothing other than a little bit of hills, but other than that, they just couldn't handle the amount of demand and the...
This was the airport.
This was it, yeah.
This was it. Oh, jeez.
Now, you imagine all the amount of passengers and amount of cargo that was going in and out of this place. They finally just said that, we
can't do it anymore.
Yeah, pretty much, because they were having to park jumbo jets all the way out here and have to bus people over to the terminal. That's insane.
Jeez.
All right, so you can see the terminal off out in front of us. So even using just one engine, that's probably all you're going to need. Yeah, just throttle up a little bit more. There you go.
So what does this do that the rudder don't?
That just simply has more authority than the rudders do.
Is it actually turning the
it's physically turning. It doesn't work in the air because it only turns in the nose gear.
It just turns the actual
Yep.
nose gear. Okay.
Exactly. And pick a gate, any gate.
Over here.
Sure. So you see that dark patch there? That'll lead you directly to the gate itself.
Am I coming in at an okay angle for this?
Yeah, perfectly fine. Yeah, you can give it a little bit more juice, that's fine. At least they left the lights on for us.
Bacon Airport is fully lit.
Yeah, it's kind of straight out of the Langoliers. All right, just keep going. That's what brakes are for.
What if you didn't brake?
Well, you can kind of imagine what happens after that.
Would it just like end?
No, it would probably just do something really weird and unexpected. All right, so you see the yellow line here?
Oh, shoot, I'm not even... I should have been coming in on that line.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine, though.
So if I turn a little bit...
Yep, just join the line. Actually, you want to roll a little bit past it since our nose gear is actually behind us.
First one?
Yeah, whichever one you'd like. These were actually meant for, jumbo jets that have more than one opening. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, we've got one opening, so.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yep, so we're good to go. So what I need you to do, just pull the parking brake. Okay, so what we're going to do is shut down the aircraft. You can turn off these two fuel pumps first. Pull down and then back, okay? I've started the APU. Again, that's just that generator in the tail of the aircraft that powers our electronics when we're off the ground, or when we're on the ground. So both engine generators are running now, and we've got an electronics bus, or electrical bus. So either the APU's on it or the generator's on it. So what we need to do is transfer power from the generators to the APU. So the way you do that is pull down and then forward on these two middle ones. Other way. Oh. Yep. So the left generator's off, right generator's off. You can go ahead and turn off the taxi light. Okay. So now we're going to cut off the fuel of the engine. So out, down, and then back in. All right. Fasten seatbelt sign and no smoking sign. That can go off. All right. Anti-collision. Oh, yeah. Anti-collision light. That can go off. Okay. Cool. So now we'll start shutting off stuff that we don't actually need anymore. All right. So this fuel pump and these two can go off. Yep. And leave that one on. Yep. And the next one, there you go. You shut off the electric hydraulic pumps. So the middle ones here. There you go. Air conditioning, that can go off. Yep, there you go. Open the isolation valve. So the one in the middle here. All the way forward. And then the APU bleed, that can go all the way forward. So the APU will use its compressed air to start the right engine. It just basically blasts high pressure air into the second stage compressor. It starts everything turning, and then you can just add fuel and ignite it. Boom, engine starts. But other than that, welcome to Hong Kong. Very well done, sir. Very well done. All righty.